How do you define joy, Andy?
That's another tough one. It's what I said earlier. It's looking at yourself at the end of the day and being happy with who you are.
Can I just, with awareness, go looking at yourself at the end of the day, instead of looking at yourself at the end of the day, just being present in the moment, then you'd never have to recollect at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So what feeling?
Oh, sorry.
No, you're right. I'm just exploring joy.
Yeah.
In many ways of like, what is, obviously looking at yourself and what kind of feelings are you getting from that? When you think joy, what feelings does it bring? I know it brings joy.
Go to a memory. Go to a memory that's the most ultimate joyful experience.
Yes, that's probably good too.
I'll go to a football memory. It's probably scoring a goal in a World Cup. And that's like, no matter what you do in life, no one can sort of take that away from you.
So it's an attachment to the experience. Oh, now we're good.
But on that, so that World Cup and that goal, can you like talk through the feelings and the emotion and everything in that moment? Because if you can kind of capture what that feels like and is for you.
Yeah, it's probably like something you can tangibly hold on to, that you know you've worked for I don't know, your entire life, and you have this tangible moment that that helps you justify everything you've done and everything you're still going to do, right?
Yeah.
Because that's your nirvana, and you know how good it was, so shoot for that every time you sort of go out and sort of, I guess, play the game. But there's always if you don't sort of have that, I guess, well, if you don't play as well as you know you can, then there's always a sense of frustration, potentially. Yeah.
Heaps of that.
Well, you hold yourself to a standard, and if you don't get there, it can be frustrating. And so where I'm turning to is, look, it's not something I'd struggle with, but it just
You're curious.
The conversation where, I'm curious to explore.
Yeah,
and so I'm curious to explore what sort of processes I can bring in that can, I guess, help me get there again.
I'm laughing. I'm like, drop the fucking processes book, dude. Like, fuck, get rid of process. Because you're missing the moments. You're missing every single moment because you've got a process to get to there. I'm not denying that you're going to be hooked on process, because I think life is process in a way, if you want to break it down and give it a story. I want to go back to the words, because, work at something, work hard to get to something. That's that whole ethic of that you've got to work hard to get that money. You've got to work hard to succeed. As much as I think working hard when you're passionate is an innate natural state, I don't think you have to work hard. I think it's a passion to do something you love, switching the frequencies, switching the result. Because it's the same as I was brought up like working hard, and then I spent $10 and won a $500,000 house. That's not working hard. Do you know what I mean? But in saying that, people work hard to get a house. So we still have a house. That's what I'm saying. You've got to be the density of what you want to process through. Please don't get me wrong, because I think when you're passionate and you're loving, people just innately, like, Dad would hire a basketball hall, and we'd hire it for an hour, and we'd run for 2 hours, and we would be going from the time we walked in and we didn't stop. And it wasn't, people would look at that as like it's a real hard training, and there hardly water stops back in those days. But it wasn't, no one thought of it like that. It was just people that were passionate about the game, turning up for an hour's training and running the whole 2 hours because you had the key to the hall. Do you know what I mean? So you made the most, but it was an innate, natural passion instead of the work hard ethic. And I think there's two different frequencies again, and if you can switch those, you switch your results. Justify is an interesting thing. So my thing to you is, you have such an and an awareness. You have an attachment to the experience, and it justifies, and that comes along with your high expectations. They'll all be things to look at in an awareness factor, which I think is a big, huge thing in humanity at the moment, is their attachment to something. And I think that's what COVID also brought, is it cut a lot of that, and then everyone had to deal with, it's not the addiction, it is kind of an addiction and attachment to the life experience. Life has to have a meaning. Life has to have a sense of purpose, does it? Or is it here to be just experienced for what it is? You know, they're good questions to kind of get curious about. And then it makes you more present of just turning up to the moment. You're still going to be on time. I mean, that's an innate way that you play, and that's how you like to be treated, and that's how you like, that's just who you are. It doesn't stop you playing away. It's just having a different mentality or understanding of the way. Because as soon as you open up the doorways to playing with a passion instead of an expectation, the frequencies are so different, the results become so different, you score more goals.
Yeah, 100%.
I
agree with
I think if